talk about Soundbox again. I reached out to the Audio Modern and just let them know that, hey, I bought all your sound packs, yet I can't access these other menus on iOS. I only get them on desktop. It's kind of like pointless to buy both places the same packs. So anyway, they were super cool and sent me a code to be able to get the same thing that I have on desktop on iOS. So that was really kind of them. And if you buy it, I think they understand what the issue is. The problem is desktop, Apple, and all that stuff. It doesn't communicate very well together, iOS versus desktop, Mac OS. So there's a lot of hiccups when it comes to that kind of stuff. But it's still doable because there's Piano Tech who did it. They sell you on desktop and you get it on both. So it's just Audio Modern figuring out how that works. Anyway, wanted to talk about my first time here trying to add my own sounds to this. And there's a lot to it. So let's just take a peek at it. Hold on 1 second. Let me get out of here. Okay, so of course you got all these genre buttons. And you can create a pack. And you can import packs and all that. We already know that. But I'm focused on... Second, that I just messed up. Creating my own sounds. And I just started doing one and now I've already messed it up. So let's see if I can do some undoing in iOS. Will it? I don't think it'll go back and get it. Let me show you how I did it from the start then. All right, so this is their sounds, by the way. What I did was go in here and clear the layers first so I can create my own sound. That's the plan, at least. Let me see if it'll go back. Okay, I think that's where I had it. Whatever. So down here, you can adjust the volume and the pan, which is nice. That's my sound, but I don't see the... So let's see if I click here. Okay, yeah, it kept it. But it didn't keep the names. So what I did was drop in samples. So I made these 4 different samples here using ambient synth by Cakelum. You can see it right there. And I put names on the end of them, just random names. Touch, feel, wonder. So these are samples that I've created from a patch, right? Or not a patch, but a instrument that I randomized and came up with these different samples, okay? But I want to use these 4 samples in here to make an actual preset. So what I did was dragged and dropped each one into here. Unfortunately, it did not save the sound or the name. So I'm going to hit save as, and I'm going to go touch. And then I'm going to hit save. Are you sure you want to override the group touch? No. So it's saying that it's already there. We'll just go save. Yes, it's fine. So now this sample, when I drag it in here, I click map sample across the keys. And now I have this sample. So I'm going to do this for right now. So this is that sample. So then I did the same thing for each one of these. So let's close this. We'll go into here. Make sure they're different because they're looking like the same sample. But it sounds different, weird. So in this one, same principle. This one should be called Feel. If you click here, you can pick these different categories. But let's see if I hit, or if I type in the word. Well, I gotta go save as. Save. giving me error messages. There we go. If you click here, you can randomly name it something, which is kind of neat when you just don't have any idea what you want it to be called. In this case, I'm going to call it field and hit save. There's already one called field, but we'll override and say yes. If you look, you can compare the sample to this sample so you know which one you're on. There's the next one. It does look like this more or less, so we know that's that right sample. And I call this one Wonder. And then I'm going to click save, and that's my dog snoring in the background. All right. And then the last one that I did is right here. Dropped it in. This is it right here. And then I called this one Sing. I have no clue why I put that as the name, but I did. It's going to ask me to overwrite. Yes, so there it is. So now I have these samples all mapped across, and you can listen to each one by doing solo if you want. That's what that one sounds like. This one sounds like this. And what I did here was I adjust the panning so they would spread more and get a wider sound. This is feel, and this is touch. Okay, so what did I do next? I went to the controls, and in here you can adjust whether one is going to be poly, mono, etc., etc. Poly meaning that you can play more. Most of you guys know what this is. I'm not going to go into it. You can transpose the sample, or in this case, what I did was just pick it to play in this octave here. And I switched a few of them. Just you can adjust the tag, decay, sustain, release. And then you can add effects if you want. I do like to go with the modulation. So I did this modulation, and there's a random button here to randomize it. So I did one for each parameter. And then you can bypass it here. I would like them to add in like something so I know if this is on or not. It says sync on, but it's a little confusing. Some of them I have set to ping pong, some of them revert. I think this one I did reverse. Right here, yeah. So you can, I just don't know if it's fully active. When I hear it, I'm not sure if it's really actively doing anything. Like, I don't know if I need to click. There you go. So now you can see they're all spread across the board. You can put ARPs on them by turning them on, and then randomly or up and down, or pick how you want it to go. I'm going to leave that off. And you can randomize the octaves, how it pans and does some unique things. A lot of features in this app. This one I do like, but I don't fully get what it's doing. It's a vector. It's supposed to create movement. And so I like to set the random. But the problem is, I would love to see this moving around so I know that it's moving. Right now I don't know what it's doing. So I'm gonna just turn it off. Then on your master you have effects that you can throw in. So like lo-fi. Noise if you want it. I don't really care for some of these effects. Personally, I probably just use the ones I have in my DAW, but yeah, they're kind of real basic, so I'm not really interested in that. You don't have to have them on too. You don't want to. So here's my first one that I just messed with to try. I just wanted to show you kind of what it looks like. I think the one thing I need to do is figure out how you save the preset. Like, it's my dog's snoring. It's funny. I don't know if this is the one, because they don't give you. Boy, she's getting loud. They don't. Okay, so here we are in user. They don't give you. I'm gonna put a star on this one, but this is not what the preset is. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Oh, here we go. Okay, so if you hit this, it'll let you have. I'm gonna rename it. Let's go with. And I really like these names. They come out with Arrogant N. That's interesting. Creator. All right, we'll take that one. You can kind of describe what it is. I'm going to call it Soundtrack. And I'll call it Drone. And I'll call it, what else would I say? This is somewhat of a glitch. All right, so here's the preset. I'm going to click Save. And you can see down here, the preset's been named. Now I'm going to put a heart on it. So now I have that preset. If I want to go back into the user, there it is. And you can always rename it if you don't like the name. Now this is just taking 4 samples, dropping them in to be spread across the keys. Not something super unique, because technically you could do this in Ableton without this, and probably some other DAWs. But I guess the unique part of it is now this preset can be shared to iOS, and you have some cool presets that you can use by sampling instruments. Now, it was something I was going to talk about. Let's see here. Oh, when you go into here, this down here, select sound from MIDI. I would love that to be, and it may, and I don't know, be able to take an instrument like my bass or something and have it auto sample across the keys. That would be pretty cool. I know you can do that in Logic. So I don't know if it's possible in here to do that, to build sample instruments like that. But I think this would be really cool if it was auto saving these instruments for you. So anyway, just something to think about. It is a lot of fun. It sounds good, at least. I guess you could put, let's see, no, that's just changing the name. Can you put, oh, it keeps the samples here. That's pretty cool. I was trying to see if it lets you put a picture, kind of like these have pictures. But maybe that's when you create a pack. So you could finish a bunch of user samples, then create a pack and put those in it. Probably put yourself a nice picture over it to have. It's cool when you press play, it gives you an idea what it sounds like. So pretty neat. I like this. I like where it's going. I think it's, if they can make it a little bit easier to sample stuff directly in without having to spend a lot of time. But for sound designers, the more tools they have, they probably love it. So I get it. Zero complaints on that. You can also take this same instrument and maybe turn some off. And now you have a totally different preset. Or add stuff to it like an ARP. So. Now you can create totally new. I'm just hitting random. if you don't like it. And then say this is another preset. And you can use up to 4, right? Or as little as 1. So anyway, it's a pretty cool device. I think it's definitely, well, first of all, it's free, and then you just need to buy at least 1 pack. So that way, if you don't want to buy them all, I totally get that. But just buy at least 1 pack, and then you have access to build your own sounds, which I think you'll find more joy in. However, if you don't, there's always these buttons right here to randomize the presets and use whatever you bought in packs. See, I don't like those vocals, they get weird. And then you can randomize this 1 if you just want to. Transpose it a little bit. Now, what's really cool about this device too is you can, so this is Phil, this is one of mine, and it's mixing with something else. Let's say you want to go into this one and you'd prefer to have maybe you want to sample a couple things. So you could bring your own samples in here, like maybe a sample you found from radio or whatever you got it from, and then adjust the markers and endpoints, draw in the loops, and start creating in loops, ping pong effects, loop it out, fade it in. So here's a fade in or fade out. Maybe adjust the reverse it. Just trying to find the volume. But anyway, it's insane the amount of stuff you could do. And then in turn, keep randomizing if you don't like it. Pretty fun. So that is it for this. You can explore on your own now. I just wanted to show you why I think Soundbox on iOS, especially iOS, is really going to be good because now you can start bringing in samples from wherever, and especially from desktop instruments, bringing them in, creating samples, and then mixing those with 4 other samples, or just one by itself. It doesn't have to be 4. Like if you just want to create a bass, maybe you sample in your bass and then put it on mono, and then you can play in your bass lines. Or if you have an 808 and you want to use the legato feature, that's pretty cool too, right? So really great instrument for free, minus the fact that you do have to buy at least 1 pack on iOS as well as desktop in order to open up the sampling, the bring your own features in, which is right here. Okay, that's it for this video. I'll see you on the next one.